Hello friends, my name is Sadhbh and this is Stories in Sadhbh. This is my booktube channel where I talk about books and other things. I have a video for you that is a vlog for a very special readathon that I'm participating in called the Upside Down Readathon. That's right, this is a Stranger Things themed readathon. And I'm excited to participate, so I'm going to take you along and vlog this week. I do want to talk to you really quickly about the prompts for the readathon and what I'll be reading briefly. So there are 5 prompts to fulfill, 1 for each season of Stranger Things. I will be doubling up on prompts because reading 5 books in 1 week is not feasible for me and my schedule. So I have 2 audiobooks on deck and I have 1 physical read that I'll talk to you about. The first prompt is a book with lights on the cover. I'm going to fulfill this prompt using When No One Was Watching by Alyssa Cole, which is a thriller, which will also fulfill the second prompt, which is read a psychological thriller. The third prompt is where it gets a little tricky. So this is a book that has multiple POVs. The books that I have, I don't know if they have multiple POVs, and if none of the 3 do, I'm in a pickle. Prompt number 4 is to read a book that features a game or a competition, and for that I am reading Two Truths and a Lie by April Henry, which is I believe this is actually young adult, but it's a thriller. It doesn't really sound from the premise to be young adult, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's classified as on Goodreads, and I've also seen this shelved in my library under like the teen section, so maybe it's young adult. But it's basically about a acting troupe that is trapped in a motel, like a creepy old motel, because they got snowed in with a bunch of different acting troupes, and they play Two Truths and a Lie, and our main character Nell picks like a piece of paper and it's like, I've lost count of the amount of people I've killed and I love to watch people die, and like that sort of thing. So there's very clearly a serial killer. Prompt number 5, the last prompt, is to read a host's buddy read based on your favorite character. So all of the hosts came up with this super cute graphic, and essentially like each of the hosts have their own character from Stranger Things assigned to them, and then a book is consequently assigned as well. So I chose Steve because listen, Steve is a mom and we love Steve in this house, and so I picked the Saturday Night Ghost Club, and I have the audiobook for that as well on deck. So those are the books that I'm going to be getting into this week. I will leave you. I hope that you're doing well. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm excited to take you along on this video, and let's see how this readathon goes. It's Tuesday. I wanted to show you my work outfit for today. I have this knit top that I thrifted and some black, I don't know, what would these be called? Flowy pants. I got these from Italy, and the shoes I thrifted. I think I'm gonna bring my black heels, and if I need them, I can wear them. I also don't know if I want to put my hair up, but I feel like because of how flowy the bottoms are, it would be really nice to have my hair off my face. Last night I got to page 30 or so of Two Truths and a Lie. I didn't read a whole lot, but I started it, and today at work I'm going to start the audiobook for When No One Was Watching, so I will hopefully have an update for you sometime today on that. However, I will go ahead and let you know I have plans this evening and won't be reading a whole lot tonight. Hi, I'm on my lunch break, and I really should spend the hour reading my physical read, Two Truths and a Lie, because I literally brought it with me and I have limited time to read physically this week, but I'm going to Goodwill and I'm going to try and thrift some basics for fall. I will listen to my audiobook though, so if you don't know, I live in South Carolina. It's still like 95 degrees here, even though it's like the 1st or 2nd week in September, and I'm still gonna go and see if I can find stuff for fall because I'm ready for fall. Hello, I am home from work, praise the Lord. Like I said, have some plans tonight. So I wanted to just quick update and tell you that I have started and gotten like 43% of the way through When No One Was Watching by Alyssa Cole. Let me tell you what it's about and my thoughts so far. The book is set in Brooklyn, and we follow 2 characters, which is great because if you remember, I didn't have a book that fulfilled the 3rd prompt for the 3rd season, which was having more than one POV, and we have two. Our main character, who feels like the main character to me, Sydney and Theo. Gosh, I hope that are their names. She is a Black woman living in Brooklyn, and he is a white man who has just moved in to her neighborhood. And the thriller is about like the gentrification of like a community. Our main character is kind of like watching a lot of the people that she grew up around. She like moved away from Brooklyn and then moved back into Brooklyn, and so everything's really different to her, and she is starting to notice that, and it's become a sore spot for her, obviously. And the racism and microaggressions that she has been the recipient of throughout this book so far is just, it's difficult, obviously. But the interesting part about this is she's starting to experience like blackouts, and that's where the thriller element comes in. So I think that this is going to go kind of like in the, is she going crazy or is there something supernatural going on, which I absolutely love in books. And within the context of this gentrification and people going missing or moving away, where she is at mentally, she's starting to spiral and create or not create the idea that people are being taken or kidnapped or being killed. But the two POVs now have met, and so they kind of have a common goal of presenting a walking tour that is historically accurate to the people that she grew up with. And he is unemployed and he wants to help. He's new to the neighborhood. He's trying to make friends. So far, I like it very, very much. The writing is great. The POVs are really cool. And I think that the thriller element is really going to work for me. So I expect to keep enjoying this book, and I will keep you posted on my other reading progress when I make some. Hi, good morning. It is Wednesday morning. I wanted to show you my outfit again, what I'm wearing to work. So I have my green jumper with a button down, my pencil skirt. Last night I did read 30 pages of Two Truths and a Lie, and I didn't read any more of the audiobook when no one was watching since I updated you last. So I'll keep moving with that. I'm hoping to finish that in the next like day, maybe not today, but like by tomorrow, hopefully, to finish that audiobook. And then of course I'll keep trucking along with Two Truths and a Lie. Again, I do have plans tonight, so I don't know how much physical reading I'll get done, but I really promise I will try and do it on my lunch break instead of going to Goodwill. Good evening. It is Saturday evening, and I have a few reading updates for you. I read a lot on Thursday after work and finished Two Truths and a Lie. And on Friday, I didn't do a whole lot of reading, but you will have seen some fun footage. Me and my friends went out last night, and that was just very fun. Nice to kind of have something that disrupts my normal like pace of life. And then today I've also done a lot of reading and have finished When No One Was Watching. So I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on both of these books, starting with Two Truths and a Lie. There's a little, I guess you could call it like a map or like a layout floor plan of the motel in the front of the book. And then when like someone was being chased or someone was like trying to hide, you could literally like find them in the map. And it was just like really like a cool element to work with. So this is what it looks like. I flew through this book. Like I said, I finished it on Thursday, and I think I started it on like a Tuesday or something. So I really read this book fast, which is fantastic for me. I'm trying to think of a reason not to give this book 5 stars. If anything, it's more just like that gut feeling that it's not just like a 5-star, like one of the best books I've ever read. The writing was really great, the characters were fantastic. It's very atmospheric, very moody, desolate, and just very, like, the isolation and claustrophobia factor was really strong with this book. I think this book was very strong. I really did like this book, and you should check it out. When No One Was Watching is my audiobook read that I finished literally today. And yes, that means I still have a whole nother audiobook to read by the end of tomorrow. We'll talk about that. When No One Was Watching is definitely more like psychological, and it was very slow at the beginning. However, if you are thinking about trying this book and the idea, the premise that I talked about already sounds like something that you might like or be interested in, push through the start of the book, and like the first half of it honestly was kind of slow to me, but the ending, absolutely dynamic, big twists and turns. It definitely wasn't the most like ridiculous twist that I've read, but it was very like strong, very potent. I didn't see that coming. I also think that Alyssa Cole did a great job of like crafting her main character and one of our narrators as being potentially unreliable. When she was talking about some of the things she was seeing or experiencing, she really starts to second guess, like, did this happen? Am I going crazy? Am I like on the verge of a mental breakdown? Like, how much of what I'm experiencing is only my like perception and it's not reality? And so because the main character narrator, Sydney specifically, was talking that way, I started to distrust her as a narrator, and then it just like came to this really cool culmination. I'm gonna give this 4 stars because the ending was that good, even though at the beginning I didn't think it was that strong of a story. The writing was definitely very good, characters were very good, but there wasn't a whole lot happening in the plot for the first half of the book, and it also could be due to the fact that I was not really in the mood to be reading an audiobook, and it took me a pretty long time to get through this. Those are all the updates I have for you. We are on the home stretch. There's about 24 hours-ish left in this readathon, and I have one more book to read, and that is the Saturday Night Ghost Club, which is my buddy like host pick. So I'm reading it with a bunch of other people in the readathon. This book, my understanding, is that it literally, like in the synopsis, comp titles it to Stranger Things. A bunch of kids in the 80s hunting ghosts. That's the extent of my understanding. I've already started the audiobook today. I've listened to about like the first 30% of it. I like it, not really love it. It's okay. Actually, I don't even know if I should say that I like it, because then that implies a positive emotion. It's more just like, oh, this is a thing that I'm reading. The readathon has a Discord, and one of the channels is a like channel where people just go to talk about, there's 2 channels, a spoiler and a spoiler free of each of the host picks. And so the Saturday Night Ghost Club has a spoiler free and a spoilers filled channel on Discord. So I'm interested to check that out and see if other people are feeling that way as far as just reading the first 50 pages. It's a really short novel. It's 250 something pages, and the audiobook is less than 6 hours long. So I definitely feel comfortable that I'll be able to finish that before the end of tomorrow and wrap up this readathon. I have had such a good time with the readathon so far. I just love seeing people's photos on Instagram. I love checking out the Discord, and just like reading alongside people and like having a community about it is always really, really brilliant. If I'm honest, I feel like I could have fit another book in, because I finished this very quickly, which I wasn't foreseeing, and I don't normally read that fast. Like, reading a book in 2 or 3 days is not in my normal pace at all. Physical reading, like the time that I have to like listen to an audiobook when I'm doing chores, when I'm driving, while I'm doing like certain tasks at work that allow for me to listen to an audiobook, I finish audiobooks a lot faster. But this physical read, I just flew through it. I feel like I could have fit another one in, but that's more of a mental note for me for the next time that I do a readathon, is maybe I can push myself, you know? That is all I have for you right now. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. I know I am. I will see you maybe to wrap this up. Hi, it's a couple of days later and I'm here to wrap up the vlog for the Stranger Things readathon. The Upside Down Readathon was so much fun. I really enjoyed completing all of the different prompts. They were super creative. The only other update that I have for you is I did finish the Saturday Night Ghost Club. Unfortunately, I didn't really end on a strong note this week with this one. It was really mostly like vibes for basically like the whole book until the end. And in the ending, everything that didn't make sense made like a lot of sense and was pulled together in this really large like twist. But it wasn't a thriller like during it, but then at the end, all of these seemingly tame tales and folklore and stories took on a whole new meaning, and that was pretty horrific. I wish that there was more of what was going on at the end of the book throughout the book. The character was also talking from two timeline perspectives. One, well, he is well into his adulthood, and the second one is that adult reminiscing on some of his childhood memories, specifically with his uncle during a specific summer when he was 12, I think, and surrounding the idea of this club that was a bunch of different kids with his uncle and like someone else all every Saturday night going and hunting ghosts. It followed like a really like similar formula. Every Saturday they'd go and do the thing and they'd find something or they wouldn't find something, and that just repetitiveness really felt dull to me. And then like I said, the ending was a lot stronger, so I think I'm gonna end up giving this book 2 stars. So not exactly the strongest finish for this Upside Down Readathon, but thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you liked following along on some of my antics this week. Let me know if you participated in the readathon. What did you read? Have you ever read any of the books that I mentioned in this video? Let me know. I would love to know your thoughts on them as well. And other than that, have a great rest of your day. I will see you in the next video. Bye.